to the Reference Point Podcast. I am your host, Paulo, and today I am joined by my lovely co-hosts, Matthew, Anthony. Today we're not monkeying around because we're talking about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So, I guess we're going to start off by giving our general thoughts about the movie before diving into spoilers. So, what did you guys think of it?
It was pretty good. I liked it. Was it as good as the last 3 Planet of the Apes movies I watched in a theater? No. But honestly, still a great time at the theater. I had a good time. Wasn't boring at all. Thought it might have been, but it wasn't.
I just want to say, I feel like a lot of people are going to judge this movie harshly in the sense that it's constantly being compared to the previous 3. I think if you just like kind of examine it in a vacuum on its own, I think it's a really, really great movie. Of course, when people want to start comparing it to the first 3, I don't know if it hits the same levels, but for what Rise of the Planet of the Apes did for the first trilogy, I did well. I think this one did very, very well as well. At least to make me just to make me kind of care about the characters and care about the new world that's being built. And of course, you do need to go into this movie understanding and expecting that it is the first part in a trilogy. So at that, I think it succeeded very, very well.
But even when you say that it's the first part of a trilogy, it still felt like a good standalone movie, and that it didn't finish. I'm like, well, that ended on a cliffhanger. That fucking sucks, you know. It had a full ending and everything, so I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty fair to say. Yeah. That it did give us a full circle for at least that story, that part of what we're gonna receive, because we know there's more to come. But it was still great to watch, and I don't go to the movies much anymore because there's not many good movies to go spend.
He watches everything on Netflix. He's a streaming.
Isn't there so much Marvel stuff coming out now?
There's too much content, man. There's just like too much of it.
Luke, stop monkeying around, bro. We gotta go more to the theaters now.
But this is worth diving into the theater and sitting back and enjoying some monkeys.
I will say, for pure spectacle, I think this film, what it at least does in comparison to the first trilogy, as well, if not better, are the visual effects. I think everything from a visual standpoint, the direction from Wes Ball, who came back from the Maze Runner. I don't know if he did the whole trilogy or just did the first 2, maybe.
He made those movies.
Maze Runner movie.
Yeah, Wes Ball came.
Did you guys watch those movies?
I watched it a long time ago because we had to watch it for school. Remember, because we read the Maze Runner book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've done other things as well. Point is, I think he was absolutely the right choice to helm this particular film and hopefully the rest of the trilogy. He has a new Zelda film coming out. He's going to be the one directing that, live action Zelda. So I think they chose a really, really great director, and he did a wonderful job. I think, so everything from a total visual standpoint, the CGI is just unbelievable.
Yeah, I thought
for
so.
sure
It was
matches,
practical at a point.
Yeah, that's it. It for sure at least matches War for the Planet of the Apes.
Facial expressions,
incredible.
Guys, I'm not gonna lie. I thought they trained real apes. I didn't know it was CGI. I thought they were all real, not people in costumes. They just trained a bunch of apes, and I was like, man, this ape, he really knows how to perform, man. He killed it. I hope he gets nominated.
And there was a report that came out that they're actually going to be releasing a motion capture, a performance capture version of the film on physical media.
I really hope that's true.
I really hope that's true because you're going to get the whole film, but not with the CGI replaced over the actors. You're actually going to see them in their little,
Kingdom of the Planet of the People.
Yeah, little pajama tennis ball kind of little outfit. So I love that. And you know what? I think that's going to be really, really great for the Academy to hopefully start recognizing even more for the Oscars,
I think that's fair, yeah.
The importance of this and how it's not just simply motion capture, it's actually performance capture. I think Andy Serkis, excuse me, as Caesar in the first trilogy was robbed, at least in War for the Planet of the Apes. I think his performance was absolutely remarkable and did deserve, I think, a Best Actor nom, or at least some sort of recognition for the Academy Awards. So I think now putting this out on physical media, releasing the entire film with the actors and seeing every little nuance and how that then translates to the film, not just in special features, but when you're actually sitting down and watching this 2.5 hour, 2 hour and 20 minute sprawling epic, I think that's wonderful. So I fully support that. I love it.
Yeah, I think that's a sick idea. It's like I don't think they've ever done that for anything before. Yeah. So if they actually do this, I'm gonna be so hyped. I'll line up for that 4K day one. I'll go buy that, no problem. I'm watching that. I support that idea. 100%. Do it, Disney or Fox or whoever.
So now that I can finally give my thoughts about the movie,
Oh yeah, did you like it?
yeah.
Okay.
No, I really enjoyed it. It felt fresh to have something that was just small and self-contained. It wasn't like this grand epic.
True.
It didn't like fully tie into like where it's gonna eventually go, as we all know. But like
The multiverse.
no, not the multiverse.
I thought everything leads to the multiverse. My bad.
But like, I enjoyed that it was just like this is a story set within this series, and you got to see kind of like the happenings, the going ons with like ape life, how the humans are handling stuff. Now we know there's like, you know, pockets where humans are hiding out. The apes are building their villages and societies. It's very interesting. I really, really liked that over, and I preferred it over, let's say, another grand epic thing. And when it builds up to something eventually, it'll feel, for me at least, more gratifying.
I think the film does something very intelligent in placing its story a couple of generations after the reign of Caesar. And the effects that has on the public's perception of him, and the way his teachings and the way stories in general can then just get twisted and contorted over time. Kind of like how like you like game of telephone, you know, like if I were to start at this table, say something, and then go all the way to the end of the table, Paolo would then repeat something entirely different from what I originally said.
Probably.
Not because
We're not very good at talking. That's why.
Well, yeah, because Paolo's also a little bit stupid, but you know, just to say, like, you know, I love that, and I think the way the villain kind of ties into this film and his motivations, I think it's just very fascinating.
But the message wasn't necessarily broken, because it was word for word like ape strong together.
But the way it could be misinterpreted.
Yeah. Because the original preacher wasn't there anymore to uphold what the morals or standards to the words meant.
Correct.
Maurice.
R.I.P. Maurice.
R.I.P.
My goat.
What I really, really loved is that this film makes me care. It makes me care about this new cast of characters. Noah is the lead ape, played by, who's the actor?
Are you looking at me for? I don't know the guy.
So I don't know the new, but he was great. He was wonderful. But I really, truly cared about this new cast of characters. I love the world building, and it doesn't feel like you're starting entirely from scratch, because it does have that lingering echo, if you will, which is a word that they use in the movie quite a bit. For those who've seen the movie, will understand. But this echo of Caesar, this echo of the uprising of the past, that permeates throughout this whole film. And
the actor's name is Owen Teague. I just remembered. I didn't look it up.
Okay, good to know.
I think it's just a great start to what we are to expect. I want to just see where they go from there, because I was speaking to you earlier that it could, for the next one, give us a little bit of glimpse of what happened between Caesar's death to the 300 years that we jump to the present of where we are in the story, but then continue from the 300 years. So at least we have more context of how his message got lost. Maybe not. Maybe they'll just continue the 300 years. Maybe
cool. Yeah, if it was like a Godfather 2 situation, like, you know, you have like flashbacks and then also present day.
We see Noah's father learn how to like handle birds and stuff.
How did Noah get to that family? How did he? Oh, sorry, we're jumping into stuff.
Well, how he got to that family, I think, you know, the two monkeys, like
they scissored.
Yeah.
Gross.
I don't know how monkeys do it.
That's true. We don't go to the zoo too often.
But I think actually something that could be interesting is if you tell like a mini movie with the intro of each film. So you know how this one starts with. Okay, so I guess spoilers.
Now we're gonna do
spoilers. The movie opens with Caesar's funeral, and he's burnt, you know, Viking style. Or
Darth Vader
style.
And
pleasant surprise. I wasn't expecting that.
He's turned into a Yule log.
May all our apes be forgotten.
I just didn't expect that. So it's like you start off with that, then maybe the sequel could be like that message of how it got lost, and then the third one could be however they want to follow it up from there too, and then you just have that always tied back. So like, you know, the intro ties back with how you have Roca, who is like, you know, the last follower of Caesar's original way, and then afterwards it permeates throughout the film. And then you could do that the same thing with the sequels, like where whatever you set up at the beginning, that let's say brings us to where we're about to be. You have it tied throughout the whole movie.
They may actually be doing that because we kind of watched the death of one Caesar, and we kind of watched the death of the end of this movie was the death of another Caesar, which was the Proximus, and beginning of a new one. So it may be a theme that they may continue. Who knows?
Yeah,
Kevin Durant, X-Men Origins Wolverine as the Blob, and
that guy.
And he was also in Abigail, and he's in a lot of stuff. This guy, kind of, not really, but he was very good as the ape, like the main villain. Yeah,
Canadian actor represent.
True, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought he killed it in the role. He was so intimidating and he really brought a good presence to the movie. Like,
what a wonderful day.
Exact. It's just I found these movies always had strong villains, so I was happy to see that this one had once again a strong villain that with good motives and everything.
Here's the thing,
worked for me.
Is he the villain, or was there someone else, the true villain, and he was just the antagonist?
Yeah, that's something we were talking about before, right? That I think that the true villain was the girl.
Yeah,
Miss Nova.
I'm kind of I'm kind of on you with that.
That Nova joke was so good. I was dying of laughter in that Nova. Oh man,
we call them all Nova now.
I don't know why. But yeah, I think something if I were to have a qualm with this movie, I do think I love the human element in this film. I don't think that human element is done as strongly in this one as it is in the original trilogy.
100%.
Well, what are you expecting? People are dying out. There's less and less of them.
Totally. I just think what the filmmakers did with it was Rupert Wyatt, I believe, who did the first one.
The first one hits Rupert Wyatt.
And then what Matt Reeves did in Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War for the Planet of the Apes was really truly make me care about the ape-human conflict, but also relationship. In this one, I feel like it started really, really strong. I loved what they were going for, but then by the end, I think it maybe wraps up a little bit anticlimactically, perhaps.
Not really,
or a little unsatisfyingly, perhaps.
I don't think.
But
so.
I think my opinion can change with the second and eventual third.
I get what Matthew's saying, because when you watch all three of the original movies, except maybe the first one, it's very clear that the humans are the bad guys, and they always brought some sort of presence, or just they're villains, but they're humans. So do you really want to see them fail every time? Maybe not.
I think it does that very well actually in the first one, especially when Caesar's put at that ape kind of center,
the guy from Harry Potter and whatnot.
Draco.
Exactly. I'm gonna be honest, that's some movie I probably remember the least. I couldn't remember if there's even a human villain in it, but from what I remember, there's no one main direct villain in that movie compared to that one has Woody Harrelson, this one has Gary Oldman. That one has I don't remember the villain.
James Franco.
No, he's a villain in real life.
Yeah, it was the black guy who was the who owned the company, and then ended up firing James Franco. He was more the leading antagonist.
He didn't try to shoot any monkeys, I think.
On the bridge.
Did he shoot any monkeys in that movie?
I don't think so.
That's why.
There was
the other ones they shoot monkeys. So.
Yes.
Anyways,
how blessed are we actually? Can we just say how blessed are we with these 4
I thought you were say how blessed are we that we don't live in this world?
That too.
I mean,
that too. But I find honestly, the Planet of the Apes Caesar trilogy is one of the best trilogies ever made.
it's better than the salad.
it was better than The Flash.
Especially when there's 0 anchovies.
I'm interested though to see what they do, because I want to see if they actually lead up to the original or they do something entirely on their own.
Right.
Because I'm split between, are you going to lead to what the original said, that there was a what was it? A
Paul Giamatti as an ape.
No, not Marky Mark original.
Damn.
1968. Where they said it ended with a nuclear war. So are the humans going to go and look for these weapons to finally fight against the monkeys to kill off most of them, or try to, and then kill off most of the humans, and the monkeys are going to actually live? Or are they going to create something entirely new? And I'm interested to see what happens.
So you want to pivot it back to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, not a bad plan. Good movie, am I right?
I love the world too. It just, The Last of Us did something similar, but the vegetation kind of. I just love that. I love the boats completely rusted, and that's kind of where they.
The abandoned and ruined aesthetic of this movie is fucking phenomenal. I love that aesthetic so much in film. That's why That was one of the big things that attracted me for The Last of Us 2 was that aesthetic. This one does it so beautifully. It makes me want to like create more miniatures and stuff like that with that aesthetic all covered up in the green. And
It's true. Why don't the monkeys cut their grass? Savages.
They haven't invented lawnmowers yet.
Do you think anybody got their tetanus shot from living off that rusty ship?
I was thinking that too, man.
No, I haven't seen that much rust since I saw Matthew's car.
But yeah, I love their culture. I love the world building with the eagles and the bird. You know, like I found that super fascinating.
That
with the egg too. Yeah.
that showed me how intelligent their clan was.
Yeah.
Smoking of the fish, the training of the eagles,
Leaving 1 or 2 eggs back instead of taking them all.
yeah, thinking of like your overall environment and how it affects each other, the ecosystem. That is so intelligent. That shows the whole clan of where Noah was.
Yeah.
Was higher intelligence than where the Caesar clan was, because they were pillaging. They were
all like, must open vault, make me smart.
No, I was
like, you know the picture of the monkey.
Yeah, I was saying, yeah, these monkeys were smart. They were monkeying around.
But the other clan, they were being intelligent. They were interacting with their environments instead of trying to control the environments. Where the other clan was more almost trying to be more similar to humans. Than
True.
Adapting and being themselves. Where that's what Caesar's true purpose was. Like, I want to be an ape, but I want to be an ape in a world where with humans, instead of trying to be like a human. Where the Proximus Caesar was trying to be more like a human, talk like him. He was walking more upright while he was going and talking very clearly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
He wanted a gun like an
He wanted
American.
to be more human.
Relying on a human to teach him, the past and history and all that.
Did you guys know that William H. Macy was in the movie?
Yeah, I can't believe he got taught by Paul Kirby.
Yeah, I didn't really know he was in the movie. I was pretty surprised when he pulled up.
I will say, first when I heard he was cast, I thought he was actually going to be playing an ape in motion capture. I was a little bit disappointed to see that.
I wanted to
While his character, I think, was important. I think they could have done a lot more with him and not just dispose of him in the way that they did.
I feel they would have had more humans than just one single guy hanging around.
Then the girl from Jurassic World in the last scene.
At the same time,
Oh my god, that's right.
She was also in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's
That's
right.
all I could think
She's the black market dealer with the Atrociraptor.
She was also in Severance.
I didn't watch that show yet. I heard great.
But
I'll
by
get
that
to
same
it.
token, the movie's already quite lengthy. I didn't feel the length, to be honest. 2 hours, 20
I'm gonna be.
I felt it halfway because when I was watching it, I had to pee so bad, but I was so locked in.
Yeah.
I was like, I literally cannot miss a minute.
I'm gonna be
I'm
honest.
so into it.
I thought the movie was gonna be long, but I found by the end of it, I was like, oh, okay,
And that's the
it
thing,
progressed
I think-
quick.
that's the
Actually,
thing,
like I agree with that.
I think the third act is where most of the pacing issues and senses of unfulfillment maybe start creeping in.
Yeah.
Because the third act, nothing in the third act I feel feels as big as, let's say, when their village gets invaded
Mhm.
halfway through or a little
Yeah.
halfway through the movie.
I don't know. I feel it's more conceptually it was bigger because think about it. This is a vault that's like the last holdout of humanity. This is
Totally.
our culture, our like technology. This is like
Where was Seinfeld
if you
in
want-
it?
Conceptually, but it doesn't feel that way. Like the third act
Yeah.
feels quite small. Even the final confrontation between Noah and
Like,
Proximus Caesar.
but he even gets like a fake out death, Proximus, if I'm not mistaken. Like that,
Not
you think he
really.
drowns, and like I remember thinking that's it.
No, I
Like,
knew he was gonna come back.
I was kind of just like in that moment, like there's no way that's it. And then when he came back, I'm like, oh, okay, what was the point of that then? Like,
Well, no,
why
but-
do you have a fake out
but-
death that he like?
Hold on, wait, sorry. Just for context, you're talking about the after credits.
No. I'm talking about. Remember, they have like a fight on the thing, like in Avatar: Way of the Water. They're like fighting
So
in that.
after credits.
In that, we're getting there. They're fighting in that thing, and then he kind of like falls off and he starts drowning. He's like trying to get to him, but he can't. And he's like, oh, okay, I guess he died. But then he like makes it out 2 seconds later.
I don't remember this.
Dude,
I'm just saying, like to hear me out on this. It's like this is the last bit of humanity, and like this is where and it ties in with Proximus, like wanting to become more human. If he wanted to do so, this was the place to do it, and this was in a way it was a nice kind of tease and fake out to what will eventually become because, you know, as we know in the like original film, the apes live in this big society. They have guns. They have all this tech. And it's like you're thinking, okay, so they're gonna build from there. Like that was the impression I was getting. It was like, okay, they're gonna use this to build because the human girl's gonna fail. And then when it ultimately all got destroyed, it just completely shocked me. And so to me, that was like, okay, this is like an interesting dropping off point, because now you're establishing that it's not the only one, and there might be others out there. So who knows what opportunistic apes might want to seek those out, and then that's going to help kind of show off more or less the further eradication of humans, and then eventually do that big buildup. So to me, this was not so much an unfulfilled third act, but rather the setup for something bigger, either within this trilogy or just the setup towards the 1960s film.
But I find just as a story in itself,
It works.
it works. But I get where you're coming from, saying it's maybe a little bit rushed, where it's like, okay, the third act's ready. Like I felt like I'm like, okay, this is already wrapping up a little bit quicker than I thought it would. Like I really like at the beginning when they have basically Noah's solo story where he's alone for like a good 20 minutes or something
Yeah.
of the runtime. I'm like, okay, wow, there's like, I remember most of these movies, it's like it's real group based. There's like Maurice, there's everyone, there's like all the apes together. And this one,
It
I'm
was
like,
an ensemble film.
yeah, exactly. It was an ensemble. And in this one, when it was just him, I'm like, oh, are they going for more of a solo act in this one? I was like surprised that was the direction they were taking it. And I was actually quite enjoying it. Then he finds,
Rocka.
Rocka.
Is it Baka
Ooh.
or Raka?
I can't remember,
I think
but
it was Rocka, because
but-
to me, I was like,
R.I.P. my guy.
honestly,
He's great.
But not R.I.P. I don't think
Oh,
so.
But maybe not.
But maybe not.
wait, what?
Okay, Paolo had asked us earlier in this episode, what do you mean the after credit scene? There is no after credit scene. However, there is a little after credit audio bit that you hear, and it's Rocka or whoever the character's name is, whatever his name is.
Monkey.
You hear kind of like his
His noise.
like the sounds that particular type of ape makes, and he was making it throughout the whole film. It's hard to describe, but
It's a grunt.
orangutan breathing?
something
or?
like that. Sure.
It was like the.
There's a oh.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Some weird
you
noise.
hear that at the very end of the credits, so implying that he must have survived. First of all, I thought he was gonna come back in the third act somehow, make some
And he's gonna have a gun.
amazing, some amazing like grand return or whatever. But he didn't. But I think they're teasing that maybe he did survive, or it could be Proximus Caesar as well. But from what I gathered, I think it was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was
he's
a Rocka.
dead.
I really hope it's not Proximus Caesar, because I don't think these movies should have a reoccurring antagonist. It's not that
Yeah.
It's not kind of story.
And plus, it takes away from the ending, because Noah, because basically his whole clan had submitted to Proximus.
Mhm.
They accepted him as law, and Noah understood that laws are sometimes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And so he inspired everyone by basically bringing back the eagles and like showing them the power of Eagle Clan. So and the eagles themselves took out Proximus, and so to bring him back alive just feels like you're just robbing that ending and robbing the message of like the culture and like changing with the times, versus just having a returning villain.
Or you could get a really, really pissed off villain come back and do some real damage.
And he
That
has
would
like
be
a monkey scar, so he looks badass.
Yeah, but again, what's he gonna do? He's just gonna burn down the village again?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't know. But
Look, man, that's why you're not writing it. Somebody else is.
I'm
Maybe they have a
open
good
to the
idea.
I'm open.
You never
to the
know.
idea.
honestly, I have to say one of the biggest takeaways though is that this made me kind of hyped about more Planet of the Apes shit. Like, I really want to rewatch now all the films, like all of them. I'm talking like from the first one, Conquest, all of them.
I did.
Oh, nice.
Some of them are weird, huh?
The first one is great.
Of course.
Second one is okay. It's a nice follow up.
Doesn't the second one end like very dour,
Yes.
like
it,
with the Earth and like
yeah, it just it ends and there's no chance of a continuation. Yet they do it. They send them back in time. Because some monkeys found the spaceship and went back in time.
You gotta go save the whales.
And it's similar to the theory that I was saying earlier, that they went through a wormhole and they went back in time. They went further back, or they went back to the original time the first spaceship came from, which was 1972. And somehow they end up in the year 3000.
Yeah, I watched War for the
Whoa.
Planet of the Apes, and I'm like, you know what this movie needs? Time travel.
Yeah, it was very weird. But I feel the third one made it weird, but the fourth one brought it back.
Okay.
How many are there? I don't have no
that-
clue.
6.
6.
Because I think there was a fifth one after that.
Not counting these?
Yeah, not counting these, not counting the remakes, because and that's including the Marky Mark one. with Tim Burton's. That was the last one that came out in the year 2000s. But the last one was like a war. I think was War of the Planet of the Apes, or somehow monkeys are now being used as pets, and they lost us again. Like the first, if you're gonna go watch them, watch the first one, watch the second one because it's decent. You can watch the third to understand the fourth, but stop there. Don't watch anymore. It's not worth it.
I kind of want to watch all of them because I want to like experience it all again.
Yeah, I kind of don't.
Point is, for the people who are just like, for the people who are just getting into this franchise and they really want to,
Maybe don't watch the time travel ones.
No, just I honestly think if you had to watch something from the original series, watch the first film. But otherwise, seriously, just start with Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and then War for the Planet of the Apes.
Or
as a trilogy, as its own isolated thing, as its own continuity. This one perfectly continues off from where those three films left off, and that's it. You could just kind of experience these four and be.
And also, why did you watch our spoiler review if you haven't seen any of these movies? What the hell, man?
I think out of all the remakes and all the reboots or continuations that they could be doing, this is one of the best.
Oh, that I agree.
That have come out from Hollywood. Like, this is definitely something that we could rewatch years later and still sit back and be enjoying. Be like, oh man, this even if the CGI is a little off, you could still enjoy the story enough to be like, oh great, like watch the next one after another and be like, oh, this is great.
We don't deserve this level of quality.
As a guy who
we do because there's a lot of shit out there.
Yeah,
like,
please, yes. Don't keep giving us good quality like this.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good place to leave it off. Like, of all things, Planet of the Apes getting the best follow-ups yet. Like, is there really any other movie out there that's had this caliber?
Top Gun.
Follow-up?
So, ranking of this franchise.
Yes.
It's all our least favorite of the four.
Out of 5.
4 bananas out of 5, but it's all our least favorite of the 4.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen the other ones in long enough to actually definitively watch that.
This for me is definitely like the fourth best out of these 4 movies, but that's no disrespect to it because it's still a fantastic movie. It's just these 3 movies are so good. Like they're just great movies. That's like I didn't think they would top it.
Right.
So
and to that point, like look, Rise I still think is probably the weakest of the original 3.
Me
still
too.
Fantastic. So if anything, this film is just setting the ground work for what's to come. And I think they really well established the world and the characters, and now we're really gonna have some fun with them moving forward. So
all I'm saying is when monkeys are in the theaters, you know I'm pulling up.
I think you guys hit on the head though. It's a great film, but out of the ones that it's the fourth greatest.
yeah.
And I mean, just like so we're clear, and we'll use this for like shorts and whatever. Go see the movie. Like,
Go watch it. It's
any
great.
chance. If you see it in the theater, watch it. If it's on streaming, watch it. It is definitely gonna make for a great movie night.
100%.
Enhanced if you watch the first 3 first, but you could still watch this by itself and appreciate it for what it is. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very true too.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's the show. So thank you so much for watching. You know, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Were we right? Were we wrong? Are we just completely bananas? Let us know. So follow us on the on social media at RefPoint Podcast. That's on Twitter, Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Uncle Lou, anything you'd like to plug?
Hopefully.
Just watch more episodes of Reference Point and enjoy your local movie theaters.
Agreed.
And don't forget to support your local comic book stores.